What is up, everybody? You are very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and it's a pleasure to be with you fine people. I hope life is treating you well. I hope that you're all healthy, and I hope that your families are too. So, how are we all feeling? Loads to get through, as you can see from the stream title tonight. I've loads and loads of topics. You know me, ladies and gentlemen. I like to come into this prepared, but this is your show as well, so you let me know whatever it is that you want to talk about, anything that's on your mind, anything you want to get off your chest, please do let me know. I want to start off tonight with some good news. And it's not very often that I get to dish out the good news, but I'm going to start by dishing out some good news tonight. So, we have a questionnaire that we've put out to all the members on the channel, which Connor is using for feedback. So if you guys are members of the channel, please do take a moment, or if it's been sent to you, to fill that out if you can. What we've done with the memberships, though, is what we've been promising to do for ages. We have now opened up the Anfield Agenda Discord group to every single member. Now, it doesn't matter that you're an Anfield Agenda Ultra member or an Anfield Agenda FC member. Everybody is in the Discord group now, whether it's a 99p membership or whether it's the $4.99 membership. We decided that the best way that we can get the feedback and open it up to everybody is by just doing that, opening it up to everybody. Now, for those of you that are Ultra members, for those of you that do pay the $4.99 a month, I have promised you that we've always been keeping in mind that we wanted to reward your loyalty, and we're going to be doing that. We're working on something really special that will be just for our Ultra members, that won't be on YouTube. It'll be a Craig and Connor podcast, or a Craig and Guest podcast, that will be around probably 30 minutes long each time, and we're hoping to put a couple of those out a month to reward our Ultra members as a massive thank you for the $4.99 that you guys pay to become members of the Ultras each month. So we do appreciate it, and as I've said, we won't forget our Ultra members, because $4.99 is a lot of money. We appreciate the shit out of you guys for paying it. So for those members, don't worry, there's a little special podcast going to come your way featuring Craig and Connor, and that'll go for our Ultra members only, because we've opened up the Discord group to absolutely everybody. Not only that, the good news keeps continuing, ladies and gentlemen. We are, for the month of May, removing all ads from Anfield Agenda on the channel. There will be no ads on the channel during the month of May, because nobody wants to be interrupted by ads, and we want you guys to come on and have some fun and enjoy what you're doing, and we want to get through as much content as we can and as many questions as we can. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, let us know, and you won't be interrupted by ads, because we've got those turned off as well. I think that's all the housekeeping on the way now. I think we can finally get into the stream. Joanne Fisher, thank you very much for the first super sticker of the night. On set, makes me feel like I'm ready to go. What you will also notice is that this stream and our next stream on Tuesday, which by the way is my forfeit stream, where my daughter will be 16 on Tuesday, and she will be doing me up in makeup, shall we say. Because of my forfeit, I've decided to let her make me over. So I will be doing my Tuesday stream in aid of my daughter's birthday in full makeup. I'm not lying, in full makeup. Anyway, let's go through. Connor said the questionnaire is open to everyone, not just members. The link is in the bio as well for anyone that wants to help us out and fill that out below. And we've had loads of you guys fill out that questionnaire that Connor so kindly put together as well. That is my fault. This is why I'm an idiot. I keep telling you guys this. Connor's the brains, I'm the idiot. The questionnaire link is in the bio below as well. If you want to sign up to become a member so you can get into that Discord group as well, click that join button, and most importantly, please do hit that subscribe button. Now, according to Miguel Delaney, one of my favourite journalists of The Independent, Premier League clubs have clarified something that's been called Project Restart in a 4-hour video conference call on Friday. It's also thought that it will be put to a vote next Friday with a hope of a return to action. A statement put out read, "The league and clubs are considering the first tentative moves forward and will only return to training and playing with government guidance, under expert medical advice and after consultation with players and managers. The league welcomed the creation of the Government Medical Working Group for a return to elite sport, which met for the first time this morning. No decisions were taken at today's stakeholders meeting, and clubs exchanged views on the information provided regarding Project Restart. It was agreed with the PFA, the LMA, players and managers are key to this process and will be further consulted. the clubs reconfirmed their commitment to finishing the 2019-2020 season, maintaining integrity of the competition, and welcomed the government's support. Brilliant news. I'm absolutely delighted that they've started to find a way that we can hopefully return to action when it is safe to do so. Again, one of the lines that stand out for me there is that the clubs confirmed their commitment to finishing, or reaffirmed their commitment to finishing the 1920 season and sporting integrity. I keep mentioning those words, and I'm going to keep mentioning them. I'm going to ram them home. This isn't just Liverpool centric. There's a lot more at stake than just saying, hey, give Liverpool the title. We've talked about it before. Anyway, so Sky Sports posted that 8 to 10 neutral venues may be used to play the remaining fixtures, with June the 12th as a possible restart date or a possible return date. Liverpool also could lose up to 85 million in matchday revenue next season, according to Football Insider, and that fear comes from the fear that the entirety of the 2020-2021 season could be played behind closed doors. Now, that I'm unsure of yet. No way I can come out in good conscience and say whether that's going to happen or that's not going to happen, but what we can say for certain is it's looking like they're starting to unwind things a bit, where they're hoping to get football back to action. Whether it'll go as far as Football Insider believe and the entirety of the 2021 season could be played behind closed doors, I don't know. And the figure of 85 million that Liverpool could lose in matchday revenue, it's a lot of money. And it will be a lot of money for Manchester United, it will be a lot of money for Manchester City, for Chelsea, for Spurs, for whoever it might be. If the following season has to be played behind closed doors, that will be a lot of money. Now, as the stream goes on, we're going to go through other little bits and pieces as well, that will kind of tie all this together, because I know it's a lot to take in at the start of the stream. Relax, we'll try and get through this together. Any information that you guys have that you want to feed back in, please feel free to do so. Right, I think Salah will be staying for 2 years, said Delwyn Jones. I will get on to the Mohamed Salah part very soon, buddy, I promise you. The dugout said, rumours suggesting the relegation threatened clubs will stop efforts to finish the season as they do not want to play in neutral grounds. Again, there was a couple of rumours, Doug, that did say that there were 1 or 2 clubs who weren't in favour of it, but in the main, the majority of clubs seem to be. Aaron Dorney said, you not on hot mic. Not tonight, mate, no. Again, like at the start of the stream where I said that there'd be no ads and we're trying to make sure that you guys get a better experience, I also don't want to be ramming hot mic down your throat all the time. So we're going to do a couple of streams back on YouTube only, just to give you guys a bit of a break from that. And as you can see from the image beside me tonight, there is kind of a bit of an agenda of what we'll be talking about as the stream goes on as well. You can see there. So because Connor's put, Premier League clubs want to finish the season. Liverpool face massive losses with games played behind closed doors. Liverpool looks certain not to spend this summer, according to David Maddock. Should Liverpool sell Mohamed Salah? Timo Werner wants to leave Germany, and Genie contract hawks stall. That's all the stuff on my list. That's what I'll be going through bit by bit. Love your feedback as always, ladies and gentlemen. This is an interactive show, so I'm going to dip into the chat. Firstly, let me welcome Ryan McAndrew, the newest member of Anfield Agenda FC. Thank you so much, mate, for signing up. And as you can see straight away, Bernadette and Rob, welcome, Ryan. We have a special group of subscribers on this channel, ladies and gents. We're a community, and that's the most important part. Within a minute, within like one post of Ryan becoming a member, Bernadette and Rob straight in welcome them, and that's the type of people that we have, and that's why I love the community we've built here. Such a shame we won't win the league at Anfield this season, said Andy Hughes, but I'll take finishing the season, however, as long as we're crowned champions. It is a damn shame, Andy, mate. There's no denying that, mate. It would have been beautiful to see Hendo do it on the 9th of May, as was previously planned. But it beats not winning the league. And I'd rather us finish the games than have the league title handed to us with an asterisk beside it, mate. If the 38 games are played for all clubs, then everything can be finished. It can be sorted out. Champions League places, European places, relegation, promotion, everything like that. And it's better for everybody. And as they went and said themselves, the integrity of the sporting competition is paramount. Right, what else we got? Joanne Fisher, again, welcoming Ryan Andrews. Dugout, again, welcoming. This is what I love about our subscribers. Luca Bradley said, apparently the football players will have to wear masks when they play again. Is this true? I do know that there has been some masks ordered by clubs for players for training and stuff like that. Will this translate onto the pitch? I don't know, is the honest answer yet, mate. This is probably something that the working group will continue to monitor and look at, and I'm sure discuss with the players to see how comfortable they feel about it as well. And there's a load of stuff to get through. Every day we're seeing more and more evolution of this process, and every day more and more doors are being opened or closed. So again, we won't know, mate. We're going to have to wait and see. There's no point in me coming on here and telling you lies. I'll try and give you as much up-to-date information as I have. And today's been one of those days where I have spent a very long time trying to gather up information. Darren Baker said, why not make every match a penalty shootout with all 10 on-field players taking a penalty each? Could get all teams into Wembley over the next bank holiday weekend. We're alright at penalty shootouts, Darren, so we just need to win 2 out of the remaining games as well to get crowned the title, mate. So I'll take anything. If that wins us the title, buddy, and everyone's happy with it, as long as we get that title and all the games are fulfilled, I'm good, buddy, I'm good. Anthony Davis said, that's the right thing to do. I don't know if all of next season will be played behind closed doors, and he hopes not. I'm like you. I hope it isn't as well. I mean, I hope for the season ticket holders as well. I hope for the away fans to come to grounds. I hope for the television companies and everybody, the players. Nobody wants football to be played behind closed doors, but as we always say, the health and safety of the players, the officials, those that work at the grounds, the medical staff, everybody has to be first and foremost. And if it takes playing an entire season behind closed doors next year, that may be what it takes, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll work this out together as we go along and as the information comes out. The mythical 123 said, hey Craig, heard about Ferran Torres, the Valencia striker. Yes, I had seen a couple of loose links with us to him, mate, but then again, I'm going to go in a direction in a couple of minutes that will probably make you go, well, hang on, what the fuck is going on here? Why are we even talking about it? Why are we talking about any transfers? But bear with me, I will get to it and I'll readdress what you've said, buddy. Subi, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. Ian Greenstreet said, hey Craig, hope everyone is well. Still snowed under at work, not being able to catch up. Well, first and foremost, buddy, I hope that you're safe and that you're healthy and that your family is as well. Lovely to see you in the chat, Ian, and lots of love to you. Right, what else have we got? Have we finished games to win it, or we'll never hit the end of it? Yes, Patrick, I'm with you. We have to finish the games. I never wanted Liverpool to be just handed the title because you know it will be used against us. We're going to win it. If we were going to play the games, we're going to win it. Everybody knows that. Handing us the title probably would have been deserved, but it wouldn't have been 100% right, and we know we would have been opened up to abuse from opposition fans, and they like to have a pop at Liverpool at the best of times. So to put an asterisk beside our first Premier League title, our first top division title in 30 years, it would have been a bit of a pain in the arse. But hopefully that's not the case when we get to finish out the season on the pitch, albeit it looks like maybe neutral venues. Genie scaring me with his contract stalling, said Gabriel. I will get on to that as well in a minute. Right, let me get back to my notes so we can move on through, so we can get through transfer news. Right, so the reason that I was talking about Ferran Torres a minute ago and I said I'd get back to it, mate, was because of something that David Maddock of the Mirror believes. So David Maddock said that the Reds are virtually certain to do no transfer spending this summer. Now, I have to say again, David Maddock is another journalist who I hold in very high esteem. I don't know how much information he does or does not have. I'm sure it's more than I have. But I would be fucking amazed if Liverpool don't go out there and spend some money this summer. He also writes that will reflect a grim new financial reality for Premier League sides, with even the second richest clubs in England realising that they will have to adjust their budgets. The article goes on to say, this summer would have seen, before the crisis, them pursuing 2 long-term targets in Germany star Timo Werner and Houssem Aouar of Lyon, after following both players closely over the past 3 seasons. Now, regular viewers of our channel will know that I've been saying for a very, very, very long time that Timo Werner and either Aouar or Kai Havertz are the 2 players, or well, the 2 sets of players that I wanted Liverpool to go after. To hear David Maddock come out and say that Houssem Aouar was the one that we were monitoring more closely or had looked at, it makes me happy because he was the one I would have preferred, if I'm being honest. So David writes, such a huge outlay of around £150 million in total when adding in wages and bonuses over a 5-year contract term is unthinkable at this time. Another interesting piece of the article states that the most conservative calculations show the club would lose around £3 million per game, which could amount to around £100 million, which was 85 million according to Football Insider. So look, there's always going to be a little bit of wiggle room there. If all of next season is played behind closed doors, and of course that full article is available on the Mirror's website if anybody wants to go over there and check it out for themselves. Right, ladies and gentlemen, what have we got? More of your comments, please. The reason I like Saturday night streams so much is usually they're quieter. More people are out and about. We get less people watching them live. That means the chat moves slower and we can all get a little bit more calm, relaxed. We can get to know each other a little bit better. I feel like we're on a first date here, ladies and gentlemen. So anything that you want to know, let us go. Right, don't sell Salah, said Mr. Khan. Look, this is probably not going to be my most popular stream ever with some of the views that I'm going to come out on this one. But I've always told you guys you will get my honest opinion, and that's what you're going to get tonight as well, I'm afraid. So let's move on to the Mohamed Salah stuff, because I feel like that's why a lot of people are tuning in tonight, and a lot of people will have seen the article on Sky, and a lot of people will have seen Mohamed Salah put laughing emojis underneath that article as well when he kind of quote tweeted it. So Sky ran an interesting article about the possibility of Liverpool considering the sale of Mohamed Salah. The premise was to perhaps make room for somebody like a Kylian Mbappe or a Jadon, Sancho, etc. Now, one thing I've always said is that I love an attacking player that gets the ball and runs at players. I often call it the petulance of youth, or the arrogance of youth, I should say. The stats in Sky's piece show that dribbling is a young man's game, and that the older a player gets, the bigger the drop off in their dribbles per game. Now, these are not my stats, but I'm sure that they have been taken from reputable sources. Of course, there's varying reasons for that. Age alone isn't the only one. It could be tactical, a slight change of position for players. I mean, we've seen Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo kind of reinvent their games as they get a little bit older. Or in fact, maybe just players look at things a little bit differently. I don't know, but there is no arguing from these statistics that the older players get, the less they seem to take on. And again, over on Sky, you'll see more interesting or in-depth information on that one as well. Casper said, Robbie and Troop said on Instagram yesterday the league has to be voided. Look, I was on a stream with Robbie from AFTV a while ago where we were on Claude and the Bance's channel and we were trying to raise money for the NHS. Now, to the best of my recollection, when we were talking on that stream, he never once mentioned that he believed the league should be voided. Now, I'm up for being corrected on that because we know my memory is shocking, but how do I say this nicely, because I like Troops and I like Robbie. I don't think they fully, I haven't seen what they've said, but I'm assuming that they don't fully understand the potential implications of what voiding a league would entail with regards to money having to come back from broadcast rights, with regards to players' goal records and stuff being wiped completely, with regards to season ticket revenue being returned. And as Arsenal fans who probably don't have much to play for this season, is it in their interest to kind of have that narrative? I don't know. I do like Robbie and I do like Troops, so I don't want to talk down about what they've said, especially in a video that I haven't seen. But for me, voiding the league was never ever going to be something that I'd seen as a genuine possibility. I think the deferral of it as long as possible seemed to be the most commonsensical thing. That's just my take on it. Look, we're all just football fans here sharing different opinions. We won't always agree all the time. And they can just as easily come back and say, yes, Craig, but you're saying that when Liverpool sit on top of the league with a potential first league title. And yeah, I get that. I get that I can be a little bit biased about this as well, but I can also make the argument for the relegated clubs, the European places, the revenue. We've seen in France as an example. PSG were crowned champions, and I think, is it Lorient were crowned champions of the second division. And straight away, there was arguments going on over Canal Plus, I think, and beIN Sport, not paying out maybe up to €243 million or something around that in television revenue. Now, that's in fucking French football. Now, you just think of the money that comes into the Premier League and how much that is paid for games by beIN Sports, Sky, BT, NBCSN, Supersport, whoever it might be that have the rights to Premier League football around the world. Now imagine the damage to clubs and to the game in general if the league was just voided and all of that money had to be returned and all of the season ticket money had to be returned and everybody's goal records were wiped and appearance records were wiped and I don't know, so much more. Like, does that mean that I'm entitled to a refund on my home shirt for this season and you're entitled to a refund? Because technically the season never happened, so this shirt doesn't fucking exist. I say this shirt like I'm wearing one, but there's a load of reasons why that whole voiding it bullshit just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't seem like something that's well thought out, in theory, to me. And definitely wouldn't be something that somebody who has something at stake would be making an argument for. But then again, as I want to repeat, I didn't see the video on Instagram, so I don't know what Troops and Robbie have said. This is just my take on it, my own opinion. Right, so on the Sky thing, I've always said, that this is where people are probably going to hate me a little bit, so bear with me. I've always said that there will come a time where it's right to sell one of our front three. And if it was to free up money to bring in a Kylian Mbappe or a Jadon Sancho, I would sell Mohamed Salah. And I'm not going to hide behind that. Do I want to sell Mohamed Salah? No. But there will come a time where there will be a slight decline or the right time to cash in where, you know, his value is still at an optimum and Liverpool can then replace him with a player who could potentially go on to be as good, if not better. A Jadon Sancho or Kylian Mbappe would do rather nicely. Now, let me just ask you all this. It's easy to jump on and say, by the way, all the comments about Robbie and Troops and stuff that you're putting in there, I've said what I can say about it, and I can't really be any more in depth because I haven't seen it, and I don't like commenting on shit that I haven't seen about people that I've done filming with and who were very nice. So I don't want to belittle them, and I don't want to have a pop at them because I haven't seen the video, so it's not really fair of me. All I can do is give you my opinion on what I think voiding the league would mean. Right, let me just 1 second. Right, so the Salah situation. If Sancho or Mbappe became available, and the only way that Liverpool could fund that deal would be to sell Mohamed Salah, would you guys be up for it, yes or no? I suppose the easiest way we can talk about this is a thumbs up or a thumbs down situation in the comment section. But again, please do let me know. I would. I have to say, I would. If a Jadon Sancho or a Kylian Mbappe were available and Liverpool were in the market, of the front three, I've always said if one had to be sold, for me, Mohamed Salah is the one that I would sell. I love Mohamed Salah. I do not want to sell Mohamed Salah, but I'm talking about hypothetical situation where one of these two young superstars become available and are interested in coming to Liverpool Football Club. What have we got? Craig's, even if Troops and Robbie understood what voiding the league really meant, they still go with it. Being Arsenal fans, not really being disrespectful to them though. Look, I don't know. Each to their own, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and this is the beauty of fan media, isn't it? We all have a chance to get our own expression out there and say what we want to say. Diesel, how are you, buddy? Said big up, Craig. Hope you're good, fella. I'm very good, mate, and looking forward to coming on doing that pod with you guys on Monday over on Claude's channel. Really looking forward to it, and thank you for the invite, sir. I hope you're well as well. Right, so guess we don't have owners. PSG and Man City not even signing a single player will damage us. I realise we're struggling in the pandemic, but we have to sign at least 1 or 2 players. I agree. I mean, as much as I respect David Maddock, and as I said, he probably has far more information at his disposal than I do, I will be pretty fucking pissed off if we don't sign somebody this summer. We had the quiet summer last summer in preparation for the future. I also understand that it's very difficult for Jurgen Klopp to improve a very good squad. I get all those arguments. I just can't fathom us not signing anybody. I just can't. Even like Werner, 53 million. Get him. Surely with Knight coming in, Surely with the shirt sales alone, we can fund that deal. I just don't get it. Right, I'm going to go through some of your comments now around the Salah situation. Right, so let me get right back up. Casper said he would. Sam said no. Gabrielle said no. So honestly, you guys are telling me Kylian Mbappe becomes available, we would have to sell Mohamed Salah to buy him, and the answer would be no for you guys. You'd rather keep a 28-year-old Mohamed Salah than somebody who could potentially go on to win multiple Ballon d'Ors. Okay, fair enough. We'll all go on, carry on. Rob said Mbappe, yes. John Cable, thumbs up. Lenny, thumbs up. Toybox said Mbappe would be amazing, however it'll never happen as our owners can't afford his wages. This will be a hypothetical situation, Toybox, where we can afford the wages. And there was a brilliant piece from Kieran Maguire before. Now this was before the world is in the place it's in now, that stated in theory Liverpool could technically afford the Kylian Mbappe deal, but it would stretch us. Patrick said Mbappe yes, Sancho no. Sam said no. LFC fan 96 gives it a thumbs up. Bernadette Farrell said for Mbappe yes, for Sancho no. Well, hello there, said Craig. I don't think you guys should sign Sancho. I don't think he'd really fit. I would say that as a United fan though. Look, honestly, hand on heart, mate, I'm convinced Sancho will end up at United. I've said that for a very long time, and I'd be shocked if anything different happens. I think United are going to put a lot of money down for him. I think they're going to pay him a lot of wages, and I think a lot of work has been done behind the scenes from United, from what I've read, to try and get this deal over the line. So I'd be very surprised if he was to show up at Liverpool, put it that way, very surprised. Now, we did also have a situation where we'd heard rumours that Jurgen Klopp had a phone call with Kylian Mbappe's father. Is that true? I fucking hope so. And if it is true, I hope it was about him coming to Liverpool. Again, though, how would we finance that, particularly in the world that we're in now? Right, what else we got? Sancho's more of a Mane replacement as he's right-footed. Salah's left-footed playing on the right. Maybe Sancho will play on the left. Let's not forget that Sadio Mane shifted from his favourite right-hand side to go over to play on the left when Mohamed Salah came to the club. Sadio originally was playing on the right hand side, and then when Sadio came in, or when Mo came in, Sadio switched over to the left hand side. Tom said for Sancho no, for Mbappe yes. Liz said hell no, don't sell Mo. It's difficult, isn't it? Because every player does decline at some point, and every player's value does also decline at some point, and football is a business, and Liverpool are in the business of football, and Liverpool are in the business of selling at the right time sometimes. Now, I know it's difficult for the Luis Suarez, Felipe Coutinho situation because they're not really comparable. They were fighting their way out of Liverpool, and there is absolutely no signs to suggest that Mohamed Salah wants his way out of Liverpool. And also, every one of us here love Mohamed Salah dearly. I mean, I every time he pulls on a red shirt and takes to the pitch, I'm as excited as the rest of you. I'm just trying to give an honest opinion on what I think if either of these two players became available and we had to sell one. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. You may not agree with it, and that's okay. We cannot agree and we can move on. Alex said for Mbappe only. Thumbs down, said Elijah John 5. Salah would bring the most money. Look what he did with the Coutinho money, said Stephen Booker. Putting a value on Mo would be very difficult. I mean, pre where we are in the world, I would have said 130 to 150 for Mohamed Salah would have probably been where he was at value wise. In this current climate, not that he will be sold, we're just being hypothetical here. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. I haven't got a clue what he might be worth. Yibber said Sancho's overrated. My personal opinion is I don't think that he is. Now, whether he goes on to fulfill his undoubted potential remains to be seen, mate. But I don't think he's overrated. There's too many players in the know and too many former pros in the know who say that the kid is the real deal. Like, the kid is devastatingly good. Which is why I pray he doesn't end up at Manchester United. Right, the mythical 123 said Mbappe to Liverpool possible, Craig. I mean, highly unlikely is what I would say, mate, but possible, maybe. I mean, let's not forget the Nike part of this. Nike, the thing about the David Maddock piece that I spoke about earlier on, and for those of you playing catch up, David Maddock put out a piece that suggested that Liverpool won't spend any money this window. Now, I just can't envision a scenario where Nike come in and launch a whole load of new kits and new training gear without one new player. I just can't bring myself to think about it. I just can't wrap my head around that. I mean, yeah, maybe it won't be a Kylian Mbappe, but surely a Timo Werner or a Housekeeping or a Kai Havertz or, somebody around that price range that we probably could afford. Mr. Maddock was saying that he believed about 53 million for Werner, maybe something around 40 million for Housekeeping. So with wages over the course of the contract, about 150 million. I still think that should be doable to us. I really do, particularly after the quiet summer that we had last year. Now I say quiet, we still brought in Harvey Elliott, who's a damn fine footballer, so, nothing to complain about there. Along with Sepp Vandenberg and, other young players. Rabadan said, we need depth. That's the only somewhat weak point that we have. And thank you for the super chat, sir. I really do appreciate it. All these little things make a massive difference to a channel like ours. Super chats, memberships, all that kind of stuff. Again, for those coming in a little bit late, the good news from earlier on is that we have opened up the Anfield Agenda Discord group to all members of our channel now. Even those of you that are in the Anfield Agenda FC membership, which is just 99p a month. Also gives you access to all the cool emojis that Connor Crosby designed, which I'm sure somebody is spamming, and I mean spamming in the most polite, positive, happy way on the screen right now to let you guys know what you have to play around with as well. You also get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name, like Dave Sweeney, John Hamilton, Brian Morrissey. No, Brian Morrissey has a spanner because he's a mod. Tom Boland and many others have. And the longer you're with us, that badge changes colour. And it also helps out small little channels like ours as well. But we haven't forgotten about the Ultra members because, as I said, myself and Mr. Crosby are going to be doing a podcast. We're going to call it a podcast. It's a working term that we're going to put out in some form, non-YouTube related, to you guys that are Ultra members only, and that'll probably come out twice a month. And not only that, we're going to let you guys decide the subject matter that you'd like us to talk about, any questions that you want us to answer, stuff like that. So for all of our Ultra members, we got you guys covered. We appreciate the hell out of you, and the $4.99 that you give us each month means the world to us and allows us to keep doing what we're doing, because as you can see, we're a little channel. We ain't got sponsors and stuff like that. And we've turned off ads for the entirety of May on YouTube as well, because we want to make it as fan friendly as possible. Right, what else have we got? I think I missed something else here. Where are we? Chat's moving a bit quicker than I thought. Hang on. Far Oil, how are you? Thank you very much for the super chat, Dave. I hope you're keeping well. Love Mo, would hate to see him go. Not thrilled with Mbappe's attitude sometimes though. One reluctantly. Yes. Yeah, it's has Neymar rubbed off on Mbappe a little bit? I wonder. That's something that somebody put to me the other day, Dave, that actually did make me think. But I've always said that if any player comes to Liverpool Football Club, Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool backroom staff will have done enough research on him to know that they have the right attitude, because he's not going to bring in anybody that would destabilise the fantastic environment and the fantastic attitude that group currently has. So that's one thing I'm always confident of with any player. We spoke about Dembele in the past as well, and I had similar worries about him. Again, if that was to go ahead with it probably won't. It won't. Again, it would be something that it would only happen if they'd looked in, they'd had a conversation, and they were happy with what they'd found. I keep harping back to this fantastic piece that Melissa Reddy wrote quite a while back about how Liverpool scouted Bobby Firmino and how they made sure they watched him in different environments, home and away, different weathers, different situations. So many different things went into the scouting of Bobby Firmino. It's a wonderful piece. I'm sure if you search it, it's still around somewhere to have a read of. And it was great detail about the level of detail that goes into scouting when you're at a club like Liverpool. Right, so Junkie Funky Smith said 113 games, 72 goals, 25 assists, and the perfect attitude, unlike many in the game. Neil Anthony said Trent Alexander-Arnold seemed to know a little about Sancho transfer. Yeah, I didn't see that video. I did see that they did a bit of a live chat together on Instagram or something like that. I didn't watch it, but I hope Trent was putting in a good word there. Do you know, like Agent Bobby was and stuff as well with regards to bringing Alisson in. Great, some more of your comments. Sell Salah, he's been way off form, said Matthew Proud. It depends where we would sell Salah to. I would hate to see him at Real Madrid, for example. I get where you're coming from, Rodders, but at the same time, buddy, I'd rather see him at Real Madrid than Manchester City, if you get me. Like, if ever we sell any players, I would rather we sell them abroad than to a rival in the Premier League, if you get where I'm coming from. What have we got? Roy Boy said, I feel Salah's been very underrated for us this season, scored most goals for us yet, and people still call him underrated. It's so difficult, this, because I don't in any way want to belittle Mohamed Salah in this conversation. I love Mo. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. And I have defended him numerous times when people have said he has been greedy, he has been wasteful. A lot of what he does has allowed other people to find space. His upper body strength is phenomenal. The way he can hold off defenders and wait for players to catch up so he has support is amazing. Mohamed Salah is an absolutely top-level, elite, world-class footballer who we are blessed to have at the club. So please don't take this as me saying get rid of Mo. I'm just talking about a bit of a hypothetical situation. Right, get ourselves a cheeky Werner and life is good, said Sam S. Is David Maddock adamant that we won't sign anyone? Well, as I said, the article is there for everybody to go and have a look at on the Mirror website. And he seems from the article fairly confident that Liverpool will do no business this summer. I will be really disappointed if we didn't. I have to say, I'll be really, really, really disappointed. I'm going to move on now and talk about Timo Werner in a second and something that he's had to say. So again, anything you want to talk about Werner, get your comments in. And I'm just catching up on the chat now and I can see all the emojis that you guys have spammed. And still to this day, the Craig's bald head emoji freaks the shit out of me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie. Bernadette said Harvey Elliott has been brilliant in his FaceTime interview with Pep Linders. I have such high hopes for Harvey Elliott. And by the way, a bit of inside information on Harvey Elliott that I'm sure you've probably read. Looks like he's going to sign a new contract soon on improved terms to tie him down for even longer at the club, which is, I know he only came in recently, but I think he has impressed everybody since he's been here, so no doubt deserved improved contract for Harvey Elliott. Liverpool, you never walk alone, said we will get Timo Werner, no doubt. Harvey Elliott should be made a priority. He's Liverpool's brightest youngster, said Justice Safari. Mate, I'm with you. Harvey Elliott's a baller. Himself and Raheem Brewster, Curtis Jones are three players I am really looking forward to see develop over the coming years at Liverpool Football Club. It's also important to remember though how young Harvey Elliott is, but he is that good. You're right, he is an absolutely class footballer, and I would rather see him kept at Liverpool than loaned out. Whereas for the likes of Raheem Brewster, I think it probably would make more sense for him to get a season in the Premier League under his belt to just make sure that he can get his confidence up and his goal scoring form up at the top level. I mean, he's doing quite well, or was doing quite well in his loan at Swansea before, football was brought to a premature halt. So, we've got loads of good young players coming through, which is an absolute blessing. That's before we talk about Larouci, Neco Williams as well, Kiana Hoover, Seb Vandenberg, Queeveen Kelleher, Camille Grabara. We have Marco Grujic, who's out on loan, not quite that young of a player, but still a Hertha Berlin. Nat Phillips, who's on loan at Stuttgart. Loads of players. Liverpool's youngsters are pretty fucking good. Right, more of your questions before I get to Werner. Yibber said, sign Chiesa and Havertz with the Salah money and get a backup left back for Robbo. Don't sell Salah, buy Werner. Well, I mean, I'm all for buying Werner without selling Salah. I would absolutely agree that there is no need to sell Mohamed Salah to go and buy Timo Werner. I'm with you on that one, pal. No argument whatsoever. Werner will not be a replacement to Mo. I don't think anybody's suggesting for 1 second that he is. I mean, if we're to get Timo Werner, it is to add to what we have. I'm talking about if we were to go out and splash 150 million or 130 million on a player, or in Mbappe's case, it'll probably be north of 200 million. That's what I was talking about. Getting Timo Werner or getting Kai Havertz or Houssem Aouar. No, I don't think we should have to sell anybody to be able to go and sign those players. From the quiet summer we had last year, we should be able to go out and get those signings without having to sell anybody. And if that's the case, none of our front three will be going anywhere. Delwyn said, don't believe we'll go into next season with the same squad and make no signings. We have money. Be interesting to see what happens when the window opens. What else have we got? We have the money to buy Timo Werner, said Liverpool, you'll never walk alone. Bernadette Farrell said, trust in Klopp, he never fails us. I mean, he's got my full trust, and I'm sure everybody else is in the chat as well. Bernadette. Rob Shepherd said, Salah ain't going nowhere, let's be honest, people. He isn't. And 99.999% Mohamed Salah is going nowhere, mate. Absolutely agree with you. The hypothetical that I was talking about here, though, was the Sancho or the Mbappe scenario. Right, what have we got? Boya said, Rangers have put a £12 million price tag on Alfredo Morella. Seems really low. Seems ridiculously low, Boya. For a player that knows what the net is like he does now. I mean, okay, fair enough. Doing it at Rangers and doing it for Leicester in the Premier League would be a completely different scenario. But 12 million definitely would seem like a roll of the dice worth making for you guys and Brendan Rodgers. I mean, much like when the relegation clause at Stoke kicked in for Shaqiri, it was a common sense, a no-brainer for Liverpool to have a roll of the dice on him and see how it worked out. I think if you guys could get Morelos for 12 million, I agree. I think it would be a decent move for Leicester and definitely worth a roll of the dice. Right, Timo Werner. I did say that Timo Werner has been speaking, and even though Mr. Maddock, who I highly respect, says that Liverpool aren't going to do any business, my inner child, my inner optimist wants to believe that Liverpool are still going to go and get Timo Werner. So Liverpool target Timo Werner has admitted that he'd like his next move to be outside of Germany. He was speaking to Sport Bild and he said, Bayern is a great club. We don't need to talk about it. And Hans Flick has proven to be a really, really good head coach. But if a change should become an issue, I would rather take a step abroad than switch to Bavaria. It's just that the challenge in another league would appeal to me a little more than a challenge within the Bundesliga. And of course, it also plays a role that the mutual appreciation should be there to the maximum. That's why I chose RB Leipzig at the time. And because of that, I would choose the club again in my next step, which would give me that feeling. Yeah, we know what club he wants. We know what club he's talking about. He wants him a little bit of Klopp, doesn't he? He wants him a Jurgen Klopp hug. Even if it's a safe distance 7 metre virtual hug, he will take that Klopp hug. And look, he's made no secret of it. He wants to come to Liverpool. He has spoken about his appreciation and his admiration for Klopp. He has spoken about Liverpool being the best club around and Klopp being the best manager in the world. And if Timo Werner does move anywhere, surely to Christ it has to be Liverpool. Surely. I just cannot see anybody else coming in and taking him from under our nose and Liverpool just sitting there and going, okay then. Do you agree with me on that one? We may have disagreed about Mo earlier on, but I still cannot imagine a scenario in which we don't go and sign Timo Werner this summer. Or this window, I should say. Right, let me get to your comments and see how you guys are feeling. Salah loves Liverpool. No way he's leaving. Said Liverpool, you never walk alone. He will fucking leave the club someday, mate. That is going to happen. That's everybody leaves. Craig, will you be live with Claude's channel on Monday night? And everything isn't 100% confirmed yet. But yes, in theory, yes, we should be doing a podcast over on Claude's on Monday. I'm not sure if it's live or if it's pre-recorded and going out. But again, yeah, I was contacted by Terry and we'll be doing something over with Claude and the lads. And look, pleasure to do so as always. And we're also working on a few interviews. A few people I'm trying to get onto the channel and I've had a bit of positive feedback from a few of them. So could be a few big interviews coming our way over the coming weeks as well. What else we got? Boya said, to be fair, Morelos has calmed down a lot this year. Only one red, I think, is worth the gamble. He did have a bit of an issue coming back late, didn't he, from Colombia at one point, I think, as well, after the winter break in Scotland. Where will Werner go if we don't sign him? Russ, I don't know, buddy. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he clearly wants to come to Liverpool, but I don't think there would be any shortage of takers if Liverpool didn't pull the trigger and want to get that deal over the line. I'm sure Chelsea would probably have a look at him. Maybe United would even have a look at him. I don't know, but I'm sure there will be no shortage of clubs at 53 million quid who would be looking at Timo Werner. Fernando said, Craig, how many points do you reckon we'll have after the league resumes? I don't know, but Fernando, what I've always said is, even if we have to play in neutral venues, I still want us to break 101 points. I still want us to create the highest points total in Premier League history that Manchester City currently have with the 100 points tally. So we'd love us to break that, I'm not going to lie. Even if it is to be played at different venues or neutral venues, I still want us to do that. I am that greedy, yes. Curtis Jones is the next Henderson, said John Paul Whelan. We need to spend money, stop acting greedy, we need squad depth. I don't get the... It's kind of contradictory in what you've said there. We need to spend money, stop acting greedy, we need squad depth. That's kind of a contradictory statement to me. Maybe I've read it wrong. Uwar and Werner are not that expensive. Yes, I agree. Harvey Elliott has the physique and foresight of a much older player. Yep, again, I think 16 years of age when he made his Premier League debut. I think he's the youngest player to do so. And very bright future ahead for Harvey Elliott, no doubt about it. Junkie Funky Smith, I love saying that name, said, what I like about Harvey Elliott is when Curtis holds him off over a penalty he wanted in sulk, a little word from Jones, and he apologised. And I remember the very incident that you're talking about. And Curtis Jones just let him know in no uncertain terms, I'm the captain, you will do, fall into line. And he did. And that's, he's a young player and he's full of confidence and he probably wanted to take the penalty, but you're right, a word from Curtis Jones and it was all tickety-boo. Fernando Caran said, we will have to play 4-2-3-1. Not necessarily. I mean, it depends what way we are looking to play and who we're playing against. So, are we lining up with Henderson and Fabinho as two kind of sitting midfielders with Bobby ahead and then Mane, Werner, Salah? Or are we going with an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and resting one of the front three? It kind of depends on which way we're setting up. And again, of course, against who we're playing, how attacking we want to be and how defensive. Could be a 4-3-3, could be a 4-2-1-3. But again, some of these things are just semantics, just little tweaks here or there. Would you sell Mo to get Werner? No. Not a chance. No. I don't see the need to. We should be able to buy Timo Werner. And no, I wouldn't sell him to get Mo. No. Not a hope. I mean, as much as what I said earlier on, there's not a chance that I'd sell Mohamed Salah to go and get Timo Werner. No way. Junkie Funky Smith said, Mo at his peak is, no one in Liverpool's history has put up the numbers that Mohamed Salah had. God said, put some respect on Salah's name. He's a big part of our system and scores more than he misses. Again, I think a lot of this has been misinterpreted. Nobody is running down Salah here. Nobody has had a bad word to say about Mohamed Salah in this entire fucking stream, mate. So I think, relax a little bit. Craig, which club do you think Dejan Lovren will be going to? Originally, I would have thought Italy. I mean, I don't know what club, but originally I would have thought Italy would have been the most likely move for Dejan. There's been some words from him using language that suggests that he's going to stay. And I don't know if that's going to be the case. I've also seen stuff linking him with Spurs and Arsenal, West Ham, and I can't remember who the fourth London club was, but there was 4 London clubs that had been linked with Lovren as well. So I don't know, mate. I don't have a clue where he'd go. Do I think we should cash in on Lovren and either bring in another centre back or we'd have to bring in some type of other centre back. It's just a matter of whether you go out and spend a shit ton of money or whether you get somebody who is of an older age, allow a couple of younger players to develop. I probably would sell Lovren if I'm being honest about it. Liam Belson said Madrid sniffing around Mane. They can keep sniffing. And I don't think they have the money as well, Liam, if I'm being really honest about it, mate. Liverpool, not that they would sell Mohamed or Sadio Mane, but I don't think Madrid could afford him. If Liverpool were to sell Salah, Mane can play in the right wing and Minamino in the left wing. And again, let's not forget about Takumi, who we signed for an absolute bargain as well, and still settling in at the club. And I've seen a lot of people writing him off lately, which has pissed me off rightly, because the man hasn't even had a chance to settle at the club yet. Ian said, I know I might sound a little bit stupid and don't know if you think this could be bullshit, but we will end up signing somebody. It's all a smokescreen. Ian, I don't think you sound stupid at all, mate. I mean, I'm absolutely fucking convinced we're going to sign somebody. I'm not saying there's smoke screens, and I'm not saying anyone's putting out any false information whatsoever. I just can't see a way we don't sign somebody. Even in the current financial climate, even with all the information that's been put out there by great journalists who do great work, I still cannot see Nike coming in and announcing themselves and, you know, becoming Liverpool's kit manufacturers and Liverpool, by the way, getting a 20% cut of shirt sales, and us not bringing in a kind of marquee type signing to help, you know, push those shirt sales out there and launch Nike into a new era. It just wouldn't make sense to me anyway. But look, I'm a dumb football fan, so what the fuck do I know? Right, what have we got? Sorry, more comments to get through. Thank you for the super sticker, Nastro, mate. Really appreciate it. I don't know how I can do I try and impersonate these super stickers all the time, but that's kind of the best interpretation. It's a hey you and thank you, mate. All those little bits and pieces mean the world to us. Thank you very much. Right, Liverpool said, I personally think Liverpool brings some new talent into the squad next season. Brian Morrissey said that Hadji lad at Rangers is something else. The son of the former Romanian superstar Hadji. Yeah, it looks like his son is a talented young player as well, for sure, Brian. He's only on loan there, if my memory serves me correct, though, at Rangers. I don't know if there's an obligation or an agreement to buy or anything in place. What have we got? Isn't he Georgie Hadji's son? Yes, he is. And yeah, did very well for Rangers, particularly in Europe. Right, let me just play catch up. Again, still loads more to get through, ladies and gentlemen. So the Daily Telegraph report that the Premier League could allow broadcasters to interview players mid-game when football returns as a means of creating additional content. It's believed games without fans would be less attractive to viewers, so the television companies and broadcasters are worried viewing figures could be lower. Interviewing substitutes could be a way around that. I thought that was quite an interesting piece, and I wonder what you guys think about it. One thing that does annoy me in situations is when the ball is in play and the cameraman, camera woman or camera person, whoever it is, the camera operator, kind of goes off and veers into the crowd or goes off and looks at a manager when the ball's in play. Nothing annoys me more than that. But if we were to have a break in play or substitutions were taking place or something along those lines, that's quite an interesting theory there that the Telegraph have put out, that Premier League could allow broadcasters to interview substitutes mid-game. I mean, they ain't going to be running onto the pitch to have a word with Sadio Mane just as he's about to go and cross one into Bobby Firmino with the back post, but the whole substitutes idea, what do you think about that? I mean, it's been done in other sports before. Broadcasters do pay a lot of money for the Premier League games, so I can see that maybe any way to try and appease them that's reasonable could be a working thing. Again, love to know what you guys think about that. Why neutral ground instead of normal stadiums, said Casper. It's to do with the safety of players, mate, and I think it's to do with the amount of the less travelling, being able to isolate players and staff in hotels, being able to make sure that they get adequate testing and stuff like that, and loads of other stuff that I'm sure I'm in no way qualified to talk about. Aston Boy said, hi Craig, I hope you're well. I'm okay, thank you, mate. I'm getting back to myself bit by bit, day by day, starting to feel a little bit mentally stronger, and yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, mate. Thank you. Right, what else have we got? Let's buy a goalkeeper to replace Adrian. Won't get an argument from me on that one at all, my friend. I read a piece a while back, I can't remember who the journalist was, but the piece suggested that Adrian will be remaining this summer. But I'd also read a piece before that, and again, this is before we were in the situation we're currently in the world, that suggested that Adrian could go back to Real Betis, as an example, to get more playing time, because much like Simon Mignolet, goalkeepers or any players' careers are short, and when you get to an older age, when you get into your 30s, you're going to want to play games. And I'd never begrudge a player who's not getting game time that wants to move on and play games. So if that is the case with Adrian, I mean, of course I'd wish him the best if he moved on. What have we got? Were we not linked with Nicola Pepe last summer? We were indeed linked with him. as was various other clubs, and Arsenal went out, pulled the trigger, got the deal done and brought him in there, and the rest is history. Right, Brian said, acting greedy by keeping our money instead of spending it. I mean, yeah, if that's the case, I think that we do have. And look, none of us know. I don't know if David Maddock's article's on the money and we won't sign anybody, or I don't know if the numerous other articles linking us to various players are correct and we will see Housekeeping and Timo Werner come in this summer. I hope it's the latter, of course. LFC fan 96 said, I agree about Salah, he's incredible. Love Mo. You're using the Mo emoji that we made. You know we love Mo on the channel. Was Dejan Lovren a Brendan Rodgers signing or a transfer committee? My memory, mate, you know me, I'm shocking. There's no way that my memory right now is going to allow me to remember. Somebody in the chat will know if Dejan Lovren was a Brendan Rodgers signing or a committee signing. I don't know. You'll never walk alone. Liverpool never walk alone. Said Craig, thoughts on the Koulibaly links? Definitely not happening. I've said this about Koulibaly for years now. Excellent footballer, amazing. But once we signed Virgil van Dijk, the potential of a Koulibaly coming to Liverpool was just not going to happen. There's no way the club are going to go out or need to. There's no way we'd need to go out there and drop another 70, 75 million quid on a centre back when we have Joe Gomez, we have Joel Matip, we have Sepp Vandenberg coming through, Kylian Hoover, Nat Phillips out on loan. We still have Dejan Lovren. And we know that we have other players as well who can drop back and play in at centre back in an emergency if needed. So I just don't see the need for us to go out and spend that much money on a centre back, mate. But again, he's a class player. I won't deny that about Koulibaly. Ben White, Donald Bellers Kimball has said, yes, Ben White is, from my memory, again trying to remember this, a Brighton and Hove Albion player who is currently on loan at Leeds United and has played at various other levels of league football while still a Brighton player. Now, I hope I'm right on that one. And he has been somebody that has been mentioned quite a lot and is somebody that is very highly thought of within the game. I'm not going to sit here, Donald Buddy, and tell you any lies and say that I've watched much of the kid. I haven't. But I have seen him linked with a move to the club. And from anybody that I have heard that have watched the guy, or any articles I've read from journalists who know more about this kid than I do, he seems like a very good player. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Right, or MCG_96 said, hi Craig, how are you? Do you think we need a new substitute goalkeeper? Yes. Simple as. I mean, Adrian did very well to start of the season, did well in the Super Cup, but too many mistakes. And yeah, much like Karius and Mignolet before him, for me, this is just my personal opinion, when it gets to the point where you're making these mistakes in fucking major games like against Atletico, I just can't I just don't think. I think we need somebody better. I mean, you look at Manchester United as an example, and not only do they have Dean Henderson, I think that's his name, isn't it, young Henderson goalkeeper who's playing at Sheffield United, they also have David De Gea, and then they have a fantastic backup goalkeeper as well in Sergio Romero, who can come in if needs be to give David De Gea a rest or to play in cup competitions. And I think that's kind of the level. When we were looking at that guy Kikir from Trabzonspor, I was quite happy with that level of backup goalkeeper, and I think at the time it was around 20 million, but that price seems to have gone up. So that's the kind of level of keeper I think we should be looking at. Somebody who I've always said I'd love as well to come in, but I can't see leaving, and I can't see wanting to sit on the bench. I mean, but just the type of level would be somebody like Handanovic as an example. Nastro said the Nike deal is huge and Liverpool will reap the rewards. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you guys a bit of a heads up that there is a questionnaire, a link to a questionnaire that Connor has put in to the stress. What's this thing called? A stream. Yeah, sorry, mine's gone. A stream description below that Connor has asked. It kind of helps us figure out bits of information about what you guys like, what you don't like. It's completely anonymous, so you don't need to worry about it. We won't know who filled in each sheet. So if you do have a little bit of time after the stream, please do either go onto the Anfield Agenda Twitter account or have a look in the stream description below in the notes, and there was a link there to the questionnaire that Connor has put together as well. If you guys could take the time to fill that out for us, that would mean a lot to us. What else is there? No ads for the month of May on the channel, as I've said. We've turned off ads for this month. Today's stream and Tuesday night stream will be on YouTube only because we're trying to we're just trying to get back to our audience on here for a while, and we don't want to keep ramming hot mic down your throat. When football starts coming back and as the month moves on, we'll start doing more and more stuff on hot mic as well, which is a fantastic platform. If you are enjoying the stream, please do hit the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Really important. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up as well. If Real Madrid did buy Mane, how much would he cost? Again, like I was saying about Mo earlier on, probably somewhere 130 to 150 at a guess. F477 would be a value, but it ain't going to happen. But, you know, that would be a value that I would guess. What have we got? BT and Sky do that with cricket, somebody said, with regards to talking to the captains and stuff. And yeah, I like it. I think it would be a good idea. And it would kind of be a good way of breaking up some of the silence and stuff that might be inside the stadium. Oksana said, interviews mid-game, it wouldn't be interesting, they won't be up for it, too focused on what they're not used to that, unless you interview guys like Oxlade Chamberlain who are very comfortable on camera. Yeah, and it would be substitutes by the sounds of it, Oksana, that they would be talking to, so like they wouldn't be running onto the pitch to have a word with Jordan Henderson, I believe. I think it would be the substitutes bench. When is Cash Boyle coming on? I don't know. As I said the other day, Cash has been really busy with work, and we haven't been in too much contact. Just a little message to just check in and make sure everyone's okay. Rob Shepherd, thank you so much for the super sticker, mate. That is honestly a first for me. I've never seen that super sticker before. Don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know, mate, but thank you. Really appreciate it. Again, all these little bits and pieces, super chats, super stickers, memberships, they all mean the world to us. And the big breaking news at the start of the stream, we have opened up the Anfield Agenda Discord group to every single member of Anfield Agenda now. So if you've signed up to become an Anfield Agenda member for just 99p a month, you are now able to join that Discord group, as well as have use of all those cool emojis that Connor made. And for the Ultra members, as I said, we're working on that special little podcast for you guys only that won't be on YouTube, but will be something that'll be myself and Connor talking about subjects that you want us to talk about. Could be something like Fredo's the other night, could be football, could be absolutely anything, but that'll be available to our Anfield Agenda Ultra members, which is a $4.99 a month membership. And that will be something that will be coming in the relatively near future. We're still working out the kinks on that one. God, I talk fast sometimes. I wear myself out, honest to God I do. Right, there's still more stuff to come, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. I still have more notes ahead of me that I haven't read through quite yet. So, Stevie Nicol. And usually when you hear me saying the name Stevie Nicol, everybody braces themselves to go, shit, what's Craig going to say or moan about now? Actually, this time, I kind of agree with what Stevie Nicol has had to say. So he said that it's unfair to label Naby Keita a flop, and that it's not very often, you know, that we agree. I mean, he didn't say that. I'm saying it's not very often that we agree. But I'm 100% behind him at this time. And I don't think it is fair to judge Naby Keita as a flop. In fact, I think it's absolutely unfair. Has he lived up to the billing? Or has he lived up to the belief that we'd all had when he came to the club? No. I think that's fair to say. But that could be for varying reasons. A lot of stop-start stuff with injuries, still getting used to the city, the culture, the football, the training, the league, like so many things that we take for granted. And I think it's far too early to judge him still, but he does need to step it up. I mean, I would like to see a progression, and mainly I'd like to see whatever the injury-causing reasoning being sorted out. I have no idea what it might be, whether it's training, whether it's dietary, whether he needs to put on more or less muscle, I don't know. But I'm sure the medical and sports science team will be having a good look at that. And yeah, I think it's very harsh for anybody to label him a failure. So yeah, it's not very often you're going to get me agreeing with Steve Nicol, but on this one, I do. Right, what else have we got? Whatever happened to us buying that Turkish goalkeeper? I spoke about it a few minutes ago, mate. Kakir. The last I'd read is that Liverpool were put off by the 30 million quid price tag that was put on them. And again, this was all before, you know, we are where we are with the world and football finances right now. Subi said, Craig, I think it's a good idea for them interviewing subs because we can get a view of how the subs bench are feeling about the game and how they think the game is going. Yeah, that's true. I suppose the question is, though, like, let's say a game is being broadcast, and as we know, Premier League games are broadcast all the way around the world. So, who's going to get to be able to do these interviews? Like, how many TV stations are going to have interviewees or people there ready to ask the substitutes questions? So I suppose it could get a little bit tricky, but I'm sure that's something that they'd all work out. What have we got? Our owners and Klopp are highly unlikely to tell any journalist that they are buying absolutely nobody. I mean, it's not unknown that football clubs put information out to the media, either correctly or incorrectly. I'm not saying it's happened this time because, hell, I don't know. But what I can say for certain is that Liverpool Football Club has been very, very, very good in keeping our transfer business under wraps in recent years since Jurgen Klopp has come to the club. It has tightened up and quietened up quite a lot. And nobody's seen the Firmino transfer coming. Nobody's seen the Takumi Minamino transfer coming. Nobody's seen the Robbo transfer coming. So, yeah. And nobody's seen, I don't remember many people knowing about the Chamber one either. But, yeah, definitely it has quietened up a lot at Liverpool Football Club in recent years, for sure. Connor's put the link in as well there to the, he said, help us shape the future of our content. So it asks questions like, how long do you think the stream should be? What type of content do you like to see? What age bracket are you in? All these kind of things that will help us determine what type of content you want to see. Because you often hear me come on here and say about our community, well, this is your channel, ladies and gentlemen. We want you to be seeing the type of things, or us discussing the type of things that you want discussed. So if you could take a minute to do that, there is a link in the description below and in the chat as well to help us. That would be great. Craig, would you take Donnarumma as a backup goalie? Yeah, but I don't think Gianluigi Donnarumma is going to, even at a young age, is going to want to come and sit on the bench or even be guaranteed cup games. He's still a work in progress. I've seen him sometimes and I've thought, wow. And then I've seen him other times and I've thought, okay, probably could have done a little bit better here or there. But again, you're talking about a very young goalkeeper there. And a weird thing about the Donnarumma situation is that he's got a younger brother, I believe, who is at AC Milan as well. So I don't know if they would like to stay in the same area. I'm not sure. Love the good old days when we'd sign a class player without it even being mentioned. Yep, and you just see the Melwood lean, as we like to say. Connor said, imagine pulling Hendo off for a chat and he's there glancing over his shoulder every few seconds trying to get back into the game and then dishing out the Hendo stare, Brian. Or Connor. You know the Hendo stare? You know, the one Diego Costa got and nearly shit his pants, that one. Nobody wants to see that. The one that Lionel Messi just ran off from, the Hendo's there. Imagine that to a journo. Clubs will use journalists for their own means, which would include disinformation, said Stephen Booker. Neil Anthony said aubameyang for 20 million would guarantee us the league again. Brian said 800 million Freddos. That's an awful lot of Freddos, Brian. Even Connor can't quite contemplate that many Freddos. Junkie Funky Smith said De Bruyne to be at Liverpool in 2021. No, it's not going to happen. As much as I'd love it to happen, it's just not going to happen. Right, and my final piece of information tonight is, according to The Athletic, Georginio Wijnaldum is no closer to agreeing a new Reds contract. It's believed that talks between Michael Edwards and Genie's agent have failed to reach a satisfactory conclusion. This isn't the information that I wanted to read or the information that I wanted to be given out, ladies and gentlemen, because we all want Georginio Wijnaldum to stay at Liverpool Football Club. I think from what I've read over the past few months or weeks, it's to do with the length of contract. It's not really, I believe, about money or playing time or ambition, because he's at, the best club in the world and nobody can disagree with that because we've got the fucking badge and the trophy to prove it. So I can only assume that it is about length of contract. And to me, what is he now, 29 heading for 30? If Georginio Wijnaldum is fit and is as good a condition as he in wants 3 or even 4 years of a contract, I'd have to say I'd give it to him. I'd give it to him rather than selling him this summer or letting him go on a free the following summer. He's got 1 year left on his deal. What would it cost to replace somebody as versatile as Georginio Wijnaldum? I fully believe we will get it done, but I hope to goodness that the club do get that contract sorted out, because we do not want to be losing Georginio Wijnaldum. Absolutely not. Brian said Keita is unlucky, or simply unlucky. Language barrier was stated as one of the reasons that he hasn't hit the ground running. Klopp was very disappointed that he hadn't even started English lessons despite knowing of the transfer for a year, said Stephen Booker. Jason Ward said, surely you need to strengthen though, or risk the rest getting better. Absolutely. Every single year, Jason, mate, I believe that even if you were the best squad in the world, you should be looking to bring in one or two. I mean, Klopp mentioned, I think, when he came in, that sometimes just bringing in a couple of new fresh faces into a squad can help competition for places, which lifts up everybody's level. So I'm absolutely with you, Jason. I think it'd be madness if we didn't go out and strengthen this summer, because other clubs will. Cass Trent said, I used to think that Naby haven't been a flop, but now when you see Steve Nicol agree with me, I'm not sure anymore. Kayla said, do I like Celtic? I'm not really arsed about Scottish football either way, Kayla, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, probably to be awkward would lean towards Aberdeen, just to be awkward. Right, what else we got? Just a question, how long have we been on top of the league? Just would it be a record? Probably has to be, yeah. Dave, it's a good point, mate. I don't know exactly how long, but to the second part, probably is a fucking record, mate, yeah. Yeah, I like that question as well. Another record we can add to the collection. Well in, mate. Right, what do we got? Brian said Sky gets first pick, etc., with regards to who they can interview. Craig, would I take Nathan Ake as a backup if Lovren leaves? Yes, 100% yes. Jordan Henderson's the best player in the world is the name as well. Brilliant name. But yeah, of course, Ake, and you have that Dutch connection as well with Van Dijk, and then having young Joe Gomez as well. Yes, 100% yes, mate. Is the league resuming? It's looking more and more likely. Again, Luke, to use the language that the Premier League themselves used in their press briefing that they put out, it says the clubs reconfirmed their commitment to finishing the 2019-2020 season, maintaining the integrity of the competition, and welcome the government's support. So it's looking more and more likely, mate, that we probably will see the league coming to an end, which is class. Do you think Genie will stay, said Sodos? Yes. I don't even want to contemplate him leaving, mate. I mean, I like him too much, and I think he can just play anywhere. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8, he can play as an 8.5, he can play as a 10. He's just too fucking versatile and too good to let go, especially when he's already your player and you would have to pay to replace him. I just don't see why we would let him go, and I hope to God that this doesn't drag into a situation where bad blood forms and it just can't be finished. I mean, I hope we get it done, I really do. And look, if there was one boyo you would want in the contract situation, it is Michael Edwards. I mean, if there's one man you think will get a deal over the line, it is Michael Edwards. So yeah, I hope it gets sorted out. Connor said De Bruyne is his dream signing. I mean, I'm not far behind you, mate. I've said before, I mean, from the present and history of the Premier League, players that I would have loved to have seen at Liverpool: Thierry Henry, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, yeah, perfect, but it ain't gonna happen. Would Tanguy Dembele suit our team? No, I don't like his attitude. And look, if he's looking to get out of Spurs already, and the money they paid for him, and I think Mourinho has even, publicly, if my memory serves me correct, publicly come out and questioned his attitude or aspects about Ndombele. So no, thank you would be my answer to that. I wouldn't want them. I don't. Nah. Sorry for such a quick and negative answer, but it's my honest answer. Neil Anthony said Aouar to replace Genie. Yeah, but Genie's already our player. Do you know what I mean? So you're just kind of getting him to agree a contract extension, but that's a tough one, man. Because that would probably involve us selling Genie this summer then to bring in some money for him. Oh God, I don't know, man. You've got me on the fence on that one. That's a good question, Neil. Who's Timo Werner to replace Georginio Wijnaldum? Oh, I don't want... Oh... Oh, God. Probably because he's younger. I might say yes. Oh, I almost hate myself saying that because I love Genie so much, but oh, probably. It's a great question though, mate. It's a belt of a question. See John Giles picked Andy Robertson in his all-time Liverpool 11. I didn't see that, but nice one. Well in. I'm sure Rob was over the moon with that, genuinely. Right, Keegan Murphy said, I woke up in time for the live stream finally. Welcome, Keegan. Great to have you with us. Georginio Wijnaldum is Mr. Consistent. He's like the heartbeat of our team. Work rate and energy are perfect fit for us. Letting him go or just give him an extension, said Subi. F4 said, Klopp, best coach ever. Well, you know, we have had some fantastic managers at Liverpool Football Club over the years, but Jurgen Klopp will be up there in the pantheon of Liverpool greats in the history of the club for sure. The greatest, probably not, if we're being honest about it. Look at what came before him. But, like, I mean, the greatest we could have right now, then yes, without a shadow of a doubt. There was nobody else in the world I would rather have managing the club right now than Jurgen Klopp. Right, what have we got? Brian said, I quoted some lad about 5 or 6 months ago that said Genie was never going to stay, guaranteed to leave. I hope it's not the case. Yeah, I hope it's not the case, but, you know, footballers have short careers and maybe Genie feels like he wants to move on. I don't know. I just hope to goodness that he does stay. What have we got? The Reds are on top of the league. Kate is considered a flop by some. The stated those who think Naby's a flop said Sodos. What else have we got? I've never heard you make such strange noises. It's a difficult one, honestly. It was a really difficult one to yeah, it's a really difficult one to answer. It was one of the toughest questions I think I've been asked in ages. Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. Just got to reply to somebody. What have we got? Loris Carries has found some confidence again, which I feel is great. He's a young man. He was broken after the game. Hope he keeps it up. I as well hope that he feels his confidence is going through the roof, but not at Liverpool for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, he may come back, but I think he'll move on again quite soon. Thoughts on Renato Sanchez? Hasn't quite fulfilled his potential that we'd seen when he broke through at Benfica. Had some loan spells, and it would be a no for me. I wouldn't want him at Liverpool anyway. I think that's pretty much everything that we've covered or gone through tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you to everyone for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday, where I will be in full makeup, and I'm not even fucking joking. I did promise if we hit 17 followers on Hot Mic that I would do a stream in makeup, and Tuesday's my daughter's 16th birthday, so I'm going to allow her to do me up like a doll, because she can't have a birthday party obviously because of the world being where it is. So I'm going to have a pamper party with her and allow her to do me up like a doll, or a $2 hooker, whichever way you want to phrase it. So look out for that one on Tuesday. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, and we will talk to you guys on Tuesday. Again, there is a link below for that questionnaire, and if you want to sign up to become a member, the Discord group is now open to everybody. So thank you again for all your love and support, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of love from my family to yours. Stay healthy and stay safe, and we will talk to you wonderful people on Tuesday. Up the motherfucking Reds. Love to you all.